Hello, welcome everybody. This is our Monday message from High Conflict Institute. I'm Bill Eddy, co-founder and chief innovation officer. And today I'm wearing my new face mask, which was made for me by my niece, who's also in San Diego. So I have a couple nieces I've mentioned. And she's a chemist, and she used material that shows a virus that she's had for 10 years. She had this material, so she found a good use for it. But now I'm going to take it off because it's really inconvenient, and you can see that I'm just the normal me, I hope. And there we go. Okay, so today we're going to be speaking with Andrea Rochelle, who is our New Ways director and also our Canada director. So she's up in Calgary. And why don't we start off and find out, Andrea, how is life in Calgary with this coronavirus shutdown?
Hi, Bill, and thanks for having me on your Monday morning message. How is Calgary? Well, we have had our challenges, similar to everywhere else in the world. At the moment, though, I think it's our weather that is really infringing on everybody's mental health, at least where I am. We seem to have gray skies and snow just about every day, which I guess has been great for with it being cold, everybody's staying inside. But it's really tough to look outside and not even see the sun shining. That being said, we have done a really great job in Canada of not all provinces. What's beautiful is the provinces are working together and helping each other, making sure that we all have the right equipment we need to stay safe. Some provinces are smaller than others, so the numbers are lower, so we don't need as much, so we're able to share with the bigger provinces. In general, Canada we're managing. Good days and bad days, just like everywhere else.
And your hospitals are able to handle the number of people coming in?
It is incredible. Our hospitals have been able to manage the number of people coming in. All of our chief medical officers from across each province has their own, and then we have one for Canada. We are all communicating with each other and on the same page and delivering the same message. So Canadians are all hearing one cohesive way of living, which helps.
Sounds good.
It helps us have trust that we're doing the right thing. And so yes, our provinces got on board probably Alberta in January, and they started preparing for this. So our hospitals are ready, and then we've also created additional spaces just in case we need it.
Fantastic. Yeah, the whole world is going through this together separately.
Yes.
So why don't you tell us just a little bit about New Ways, and also we try to offer a couple tips every Monday. So if there's a couple tips, could be related to New Ways or your choice.
Well, New Ways, for those of you who are not familiar, is a tool that Bill has created himself, and it teaches in various different avenues, so either with families, in the workforce, and we are launching in the next week New Ways for Life, which is to help teenagers learn these skills. And the skills are flexible thinking, managed emotions, moderate behavior, and empathy. So to be able to educate our youth in New Ways for Life on these skills, giving them early so they can use them in the rest of their life, ideally they won't repeat the same patterns that maybe some of the adults they've been around have experienced. With New Ways for Families, what I wanted to just talk briefly about was the skill of managing emotions. For our professionals who are working with these high conflict divorce cases, in this time of COVID, it's even more challenging because the professionals managing their emotion with their own family and what this all means to their livelihood. And they're also trying to manage their clients, the parents who are going through COVID, high conflict co-parenting, whether or not their children should be going back and forth. Is the other parent isolating? Are they keeping them safe? And how do they focus on all of that big picture? And how? It really is about self-care, and nobody knows how to do self-care. Everybody talks about self-care and self-love, but what does that actually look like?
We're being forced to learn.
We're being forced to learn. And
Well,
a lot of people are rebelling.
you know, what you're saying makes me think of therapists I've been talking to who said this has been an increased time of anxiety for clients, and they're doing Zoom sessions and phone sessions, and that it's really been a stressful time. And I'm so glad that the therapists are able to still communicate with their clients. And therapists are some of the key people teaching the New Ways for Families method and how to manage emotions, etc. So I think you're right. That's one of the biggest issues right now, and managing our own emotions as well as kids, clients, co-workers, etc.
And so then you add that other layer
right.
in. When you're a co-parenting with somebody who has these high conflict tendencies, you always feel on the spot to be the perfect parent, because anything you do is going to be criticized. So then you add this extra layer of a pandemic.
Yes.
And that need to be perfect or you'll be criticized is just heightened, but you can't be perfect. It doesn't exist.
And
nothing you do. Go ahead.
That's a good message for us to tell ourselves. We don't have to be perfect, and we can't be anyway.
And we can't be anyways. And it doesn't matter. Let's say you did achieve perfection, which doesn't exist. The other parent will still find something to criticize. So that shouldn't be the marker.
Yeah. Well, that's why with New Ways for Families, one of the skills is checking ourselves rather than checking the other person. And that's not always easy to do.
Yes.
You know, I wanted to mention that because the courts are closed, that co-parents with legal issues or custody disputes, especially saying you need to protect the child from the coronavirus, so you can't have the child for 3 months, that those kind of issues should be brought to mediation, because there's mediators who are working online, and the Academy of Professional Family Mediation, I've been a member of that since it began. And we've had some large town hall meetings, but talking about how you can get to mediators right away. You may have to wait a couple months to get to court, but there is mechanisms.
And the process that you put into place, New Ways for Mediation, is brilliant, because it really does not force, but kind of aligns both parents in a way that they can get to a resolution. Whereas sometimes in traditional mediation, interest-based, it's more difficult to get a resolution when there's a high conflict co-parent. But with your method, resolution is likely.
Yeah, I'm glad to hear you say that, because I always hope it is, but practitioners, because you actually are a registered mediator as well.
I am, yes. Yes.
Yeah, and so it's heartening to hear that things do work. I keep my fingers crossed, but I really think so. And the key to that in many ways is not focusing on how people feel, but focusing on their proposals for what to do.
Exactly.
And that's easier to be aligned on, is what to do, since people are never going to agree on how they should feel.
Agreed.
Yeah.
And with the proposal focus method, which is what part of New Ways is during mediation, you can't one person can't just keep trying to fix and the other person just keeps saying no, 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 because that creates that imbalance and crazy making. Your method forces somebody to come up with an alternative proposal, and it keeps moving it forward.
Makes people think rather than react.
Yes, so important.
Well, thank you for that. And those messages. So we try to keep these fairly brief, so I think we can wrap up, but I really appreciate hearing that you're okay, and hearing that being indoors may make sense right now if it's cold out, and tips about new ways and about managing emotions and focusing on proposals. So thank you so much, Andrea.
Thank you, Bill.
I'll see you around, and good luck. Take care, and you too.